Hi, my name is Anne, and I went to Kyrenia IVF clinic for my treatment for IVF. We went end of February, beginning of March 2020, and it was successful. So just to tell you a little bit about my background, we have been trying to have babies for about 10 years. We started on our wedding anniversary in 2010 and weren't able to conceive. We did 2 IVFs in Belgium because I'm half Belgian and a Belgian citizen. It failed. We are living in America. And on the 3rd IVF, we were able to conceive my son, who is now 4.5. That was 2015 of October. We had 3 embryos left over, so we were sure that we were going to be able to conceive our second child with no issues. Sadly, that didn't quite work. IVF number 4, we put in 2 embryos in Belgium. It failed. IVF number 5, we put in the last embryo that we had from the successful cycle, number 3, and that failed. And so we were very distraught and upset after that. We proceeded to do cycle number 6, 7, and 8 in America. All of those failed. And so going to Kyrenia, Cyprus was our absolute last chance. And I'm happy to say that it worked out. It was worth it. Just to give you a little review, Magda, it's really windy here. Magda was the most amazing contact. I had been talking to many places overseas, and she was the one that I felt the best and the most comfortable with. And so we decided to go with her. We went to Cyprus for our IVF. We stayed at the Lord's Palace, which was amazing. This is our son, who we conceived on IVF number 3. I'm making a video for Cyprus. We might get interrupted. And we stayed at the Lord's Palace. The clinic took care of all of the transportation. So they took care of the transportation, which was a pleasant surprise. We ended up having a nice little vacation in Cyprus, and we made it a family event. Because it's so cold in Virginia, where we live in the United States, we really enjoyed the warm weather in Cyprus. It's very dry and not humid at all. So we explored the town, the surrounding areas, castles. It was like a mini vacation for us. And since the Lord's Palace was also very affordable and a 5-star hotel, we had a great time. The medications were very affordable in Cyprus as well. Much more than in America. 1 day of stim drugs in America, you can do 10 days of stim drugs in Cyprus. So just to give you an idea on the cost savings. But it was my whole family, me, my husband, and our son. We went there for about 2.5 weeks. We didn't have to stay there that long. We just chose to. And we went to Greece and other places. But just to review the IVF clinic, we ended up going. They took great care of us. One of the nice things was we had Magda, who was a fantastic, I mean, she's like the most patient person in the world. Like, I came in after 9 IVFs, or 8 IVFs, this was IVF number 9. You can imagine I was pretty broken. So, and kind of hopeless and kind of a downer. And she put up with me, and she was hopeful and sweet and kind, and responded to all my WhatsApp messages. So Magda was absolutely amazing. And then when we got there, we were pleasantly surprised that Dr. Verda was absolutely wonderful. What we really liked about her was just, she was just so upfront and matter of fact. You know, in America, they kind of sugarcoat things a little bit. And in Belgium, they're just really factual and do not have a bedside manner. It's like 2 completely opposite ends of the spectrum. But in Cyprus, I would say it is a very, with Dr. Verda and her team, it's a very happy medium people are very kind and accommodating and sweet, and I think the culture over there is just very hospitable, because we noticed that when we were traveling and we went to the hotel, like, people were willing to go out of their way for us, and they were so kind to us, and the taxi cab drivers and all that. So Dr. Verda was absolutely wonderful. She was probably, of all the IVFs that I've ever done, I think she was my favorite doctor. I mean, she was funny too, so that was nice. It kind of lightened the mood a little bit, and she was just very factual, but at the same time had a great bedside manner and was very kind and sweet. So Magda, Dr. Verda, the nurses the day of the transfer were so kind to me. I was a nervous wreck because I have done so many transfers in the past that failed, and so they were just so reassuring and so kind. I would say of any transfer I've ever done in my life, I felt the most taken care of and the most loved and supported at that transfer. Additionally, one thing that had never happened to us in all these IVFs, we actually got to meet the embryologist. In America and in Belgium, our experience is like the embryologist is like the Wizard of Oz. He's behind a curtain and you don't get to meet him. He's this mythical guy and you don't talk to him, you don't see him, nothing. But in Cyprus, he came out, yeah, Wizard of Oz. He came out to meet us and talk to us about our embryos. So it wasn't Dr. Verda who was like relaying information. It came straight, direct from the embryologist, telling us the condition of our embryos, what he recommended, how many he recommended we transfer, how many made it, how many didn't. He was just absolutely wonderful, and clearly he was a great embryologist because we finally had success. But anyway, overall, I would say that it was an absolutely wonderful experience, and I would recommend it to anybody who is traveling internationally, especially because the team at Cyprus really, really, really knows what they are doing. And you will get an incredibly amazing experience, wonderful care at an affordable price. You can stay at a wonderful hotel for a great price, and they just take good care of you. And so I really believe that if the people at Cyprus can't make it happen, nobody can. So somebody who's done 9 IVFs can tell you that this was probably the best experience I had ever had. I would say go for it, and I highly recommend it. And that's it. Thank you very much. Greetings from America.